And welcome back to another tutorial. It's Ace here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make this Blender wave animation. So we'll be using Blender, which is a free software, so let's get started. So of course we're making an ocean, but we're going to use Blender Render because Cycles Render is just way too hard to make the textures, and honestly I wanted to make this tutorial short so that then you can go and show your friends what you've made in Blender. So you can go to the Modifiers tab, click Add Modifier, and make sure that a ocean modifier, not a fluid simulation, an ocean modifier. So click on ocean, change the resolution to 15. Now change the scale to 2, and make sure that you like the seed. If you want to change the seed, you can change it. I kind of like 2 there. As you can see, that's our ocean. So what you're going to want to do now is you're going to want to put this timeline to 0. So go over here, press 0, and then change this to 0, okay? So that moves your thing to 0. Now at 0, you're at time 1. So turn on automatic keyframe, like this and like this. And you're going to want to go, and you're going to want to press I on the time. So above the time, not clicking on it, just above it, put your cursor above it and press I. And then you're going to move forward however many frames. So we're going to go for 250. Click down here to make the precise measurement. And then go something like 12. Okay, so as you can see, we've kind of made an animation. But you may see that it starts out like real slow, like too slow. And then it goes to what I would say is a considerate speed. And then it kind of like speeds up a lot. So you're going to want to go. You see this little thing? It changes your cursor into an X. Pull up or to the side and press T to get rid of that side panel, and click on Graph Editor. And as you can see, this is where you can change how fast it goes. So as you can see, it's going up like this. It's going up and then it's slowing down. So it's slow, fast, slow. You can press V, and we want to change this to vector. So click vector, and as you can see, it flattens out. So if we play back the animation, it's going to be a moderate pace. Now I actually think that's pretty low, but that's because this is only playing at 20 FPS. So actually I'm going to add a little bit more time. So when we're down here at 250, I'm going to change this time to like 15 and make it just a little bit longer so that it's a little bit faster when we play the final animation. But yeah, so I think that looks pretty good. So as you can see, it's a straight line. It's not a curved line. So now we can start working on texturing. So now that we're done setting up the graph editor, we're going to go to texturing. So right click, and left click, and then we're going to go to the material tab. So we're going to just call this material, we could call it water because it is our water. We're going to go to specular and change this to 0.75, and we're going to change this to Warzel. So just before we add a mirror texture, we're going to want to go down to slope and go 0.025 here, and we're going to want to go down to mirror and turn on mirror, and we're going to go and press 0.25. Okay, so as you can see, we've added a mirror, and this will be our texture. So now we're going to go into the textures area. Now what you're going to want to do is go down here, name this texture. You can just call it ocean bump for bump map, and then you can go down here. You want to change this type from none to clouds, as you can see. So now we can go down here now that we have clouds. Instead of color, change this to normal and change this to negative 0.25 should be a good number, and go up. We're done that, we're going to go to material, go to this texture button, and go new texture, and we're going to call this let's just call this color, because yeah. So now that you've named it, we're going to go down over to here, and we're going to change this to blend, and we're going to go down and click ramp, and then we're going to go delete one of the ramps by clicking this, and then using this, we're just going to go and change it to a really deep blue. We're going to turn this down so that's like a dark blue of the ocean. I kind of like that. So you're going to scroll down and go down to this coordinates and go to generated. And so now you're going to click on this tab and we're going to go and do a test render and see if our materials have gone right. What you want to do is click on this lamp. You're then going to go into this tab, change this to a sun, and you're going to rotate this to be like that. And remember to rotate, it's pressing R. And I'm going to go maybe even a little bit more. Press Shift F to go into this fly cam mode, then just click to go out of it. I'm going to rotate it this way. That looks pretty good. I'm going to grab it and just going to put it up like there. And that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to go and press 0 on my number pad, grab the camera, and do a small test. So I'm pressing Shift F to go into this fly cam. And then we're going to go over here. And basically you can turn this up to get higher res. And make this sure this is at 30 FPS. And yeah, so I'm just going to press F12. And also, while we have the sun selected, we're going to want to go over here to the sun tab. And we're going to want to turn on sky. And we're also going to want to turn on ray shadows. So you can see ray shadows is on. As you can see, if we turn on render, it looks pretty decent. It's decent enough. I don't think there's enough like reflectiveness. Well, it's actually quite decent. I think we should add some fog and stuff. So let's do that now. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be changing the camera. So let's get out of this rendered mode. And let's go and press 0. And we're in the camera. I like to go and select the camera by right-clicking on it. Go to the camera. And then you're going to want to change the sensor size. So go to this area, which is the sensor, and you're going to want to do like 56. I'm going to do around 50. That's what I kind of like. It's not too big, not too small. You can press Shift F to move it around. So we're going to start over here, definitely at frame 1. And we're going to auto keyframe, location, rotation, and scale. And so now we're here. And then by the time we're at 200 frames, I would like to be somewhere like here. So you can see, yeah, so that looks decent. It's pretty decent, but we're gonna want to change the camera movement to linear. Let's go here. Let's go graph editor. And you see it's kind of complicated, but we're gonna press V and vector everything. And then we're going to right click, left click, and that's gonna make everything pretty much the same speed. So you can see everything's running at the same speed. So you got the camera running at the same speed. Everything's doing that. I kind of like it. That's looking pretty good. So you've got the camera set up, you've got the texture set up, you got the wave set up. But there is one problem. When we zoom our camera forward, we see the end of the ocean. We don't want that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and select the cube, which is now our ocean, by right-clicking on it and going over to the modifiers tab, and you can click this, and this is going to extend the ocean by the X and the Y, Z axis. So this is timesing your ocean size by 3. So as you can see, that allows us to go forward, and you won't go to the end of the ocean. The thing we're going to do is turn on some mist. So you're going to want to go to the world tab, click on mist, open that up, and then we can put this to like 70. So you can see that's kind of mist. I'm actually going to move forward maybe 65. Big. But this is our new complete render. So you're going to have to let it render. It may take a little bit. But this is what your ocean is going to look like. So now basically all you need to do is render out the animation. This can take a long time, but make sure to do it overnight or something, so that then you don't have to keep your computer working. It is running on CPU, remember? So your CPU is going to be working like crazy. So as you can see, this is the render that we made with it. It looks pretty good. I'm satisfied with it. So if you did enjoy this tutorial, check out more. I am going to be making more tutorials every week. Keep on blending.